All right, guys, let's get into it. We got NFL. Let's cut through the red tape, John.
Let's just cut it.
Let's cut through it.
We
had Super Wildcard Weekend.
Super Wildcard Weekend.
In the NFL, not in college. We're done with college.
Oh, yeah, college. We've been done with college.
And since we've been done with college, I don't know if anybody said it yet, but congratulations to Georgia. Congratulations to the whole 2022 football season. You wrote a good script. First year, 2 Big Ten teams make the playoffs. Had 2 one-loss teams make it. I think that might be the first time ever.
No.
Yeah, no, not that recent. That one's probably not that
No,
crazy.
1 loss is pretty common.
2 one-loss, though?
Didn't it happen last year with Cincinnati and Oh no, Cincinnati was undefeated. Michigan had 1 loss, and then Alabama had 1 loss.
I'll take your word for it.
Georgia had 1 loss because they lost to Alabama in the SEC championship. Michigan lost to Michigan State.
And maybe it's not that crazy, but it is crazy that common. 2 Big Ten teams made it. I feel like that was always, that's crazy. That's pretty crazy because I feel like that's not common just because of the way that Michigan and Ohio State always play each other at the end.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of big games, a lot of crazy finishes, upsets, and stuff like that. So overall, 2020 year college football. Johnny, got anything to say before we put it
I think Utah stole the season. I thought they were really everyone's darling.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to you.
I think everyone's darling for me this year. Not the Utes. I'm gonna go. See, I was gonna say. I was gonna say Tennessee. If they beat Georgia, a lot of people hate Tennessee. Don't get it wrong, but other people that hate the SEC more. Tennessee had a chance to beat Alabama and Georgia in the same year, and I think if they would have done it, people would have been like, you know what? God bless them. They beat these people that everybody fucking has been rooting against. Tennessee would have been a good one, but I think my true darling of the year is going to be my Cornhuskers.
I think you have some things battling against it, like the fact that they just fucking suck.
That's one thing. That's one thing.
I wouldn't say him as my darling. I mean, you fired your coach midway through the year.
Hey, but what good program doesn't do one of those?
A lot of them.
But name one.
Ohio State.
Ohio State's never fired a coach in the middle of the year.
I don't think so.
I'm sure there's probably. I just like to think that there might be one off chance that that's happened, but you're probably right.
Unless it was pre-Woody Hayes. At least since Woody Hayes, no.
John Cooper didn't get fired. Probably do John Cooper too.
No, John Cooper got
fired.
Or
was he after Woody Hayes?
But that would have been well after. John Cooper was like 9
during the year as well.
I said
during the year.
That's what I meant. I'm saying John Cooper. I know he got fired, but I meant like I couldn't remember. I forget Woody Hayes is before John Cooper. That's my fault.
Oh,
apologies.
Technically, yeah. Earl Bruce was fired, but they let him finish the season. So that's kind of different.
It's kind of a gray area.
That's kind of a gray.
That's gray.
Because Earl Bruce was fired before the Michigan game. The boys rallied up for him, beat Michigan. And that was his last game. They carried him off the field. So, because they knew it'd be his last game. Everybody was wearing bandanas with Earl on them.
Yeah.
But that's the only one that comes to mind.
Okay.
Because it went Woody Hayes, Earl Bruce, John Cooper, Jim Tressel, Urban,
Ryan.
Well, Luke Fickell. And Fickell. But that.
All right, well, Ryan, you got anything to say to the college football season before we wrap it up? Put it to bed officially. It's dead.
No. Shitty season.
Shitty season?
I didn't like it.
See, I liked it personally.
I didn't like it.
I think you had a lot of different stuff. It was cool to see.
Ohio State learned how to play football on December 31st. It was January 1st.
Yeah, January 1st.
Yeah.
No, it's December 31st.
All right.
They missed the kick in the new year, technically.
Yeah, no, they had lost how to play football.
Yeah, I know. It was the worst start to the new year I've ever had. Probably will ever have. It was on the dot. I watched the clock turn. Yeah.
I thought it was awesome personally because we were sitting there watching the game, and at Ian's and Mel sitting there watching the goddamn phone of the ball drop, and she's like 3, 2, and we're like the ball's kicked. Ian goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
it was so good.
Dude, I love Mel, but if we would have had to change the TV,
it would have never happened. It would have never happened. There's no scenario where that would happen.
But that would have been like insane.
Oh yeah, it'd have been hilarious.
Like you guys changed the TV right when CJ Stroud makes that like 30-yard run, and they'd be like, "All right, they got this up. Quick, turn the channel."
Yeah.
And you turn it back,
and then Stenson's running.
You know, someone out there did that. Someone out there did that.
Right.
But NFL playoffs.
But Super Wildcard Weekend happened this week. Let's recover it. Let's recap it.
Recover.
Not recover it. 49ers, Seahawks. Geno, in fact, did not cook.
Yeah, I
Didn't do bad. Didn't cook, though.
Yeah, you know, I'm a Geno rider.
We know you are.
Ever since his days at
West Virginia?
West Virginia, West by golly,
Mm-hmm.
and it just was not his day. The 49ers just absolutely destroyed him. Brock Purdy looked like a competent quarterback, like he has been.
Didn't play above his head.
And this was the easiest over I've ever gambled on. I believe it was like 40, 48 or 45, and it was 42 and a half. And the 49ers got 41 points by himself. So
Yeah.
easy over for your boy.
Yeah, I personally think so too. I'm tending to be more of the what you would call the 49ers might fuck around and win it all. I might be in that group of people. You know, to me, they just look good. I don't know if I buy into the whole Brock Purdy is the actual truth or if he's going to be kind of this flash in the pan, if you will, per se. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like 50-50, where if next round they play the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If the 49ers play the Cowboys and the 49ers lose by 10 plus points and Brock Purdy has like one touchdown and like 200 yards passing and like an interception maybe, you'd be like, oh, you know, it's back to earth for the 49ers and they're not living in the clouds anymore.
Yeah.
But if they also win by 10 to 15 like they, you know, have been doing these last couple weeks, you're like, well, these 49, I mean, Purdy's not a bad guy. He's very competent, knows how to do his thing, and this offense and this defense is just built for it. It's just, to me, they're just too, I have no idea. I would tell you this much. I would never bet on the 49ers to do anything as of right now other than win.
Yeah.
I would do only money line bets for them. They just, to me, have too many what ifs.
I think to your point, I think as long as he's in this system, he will succeed.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just the people around him. He's got good weapons, good O-line, good defense. So he's just going to succeed because of that. Now, if the 49ers decide to move into a different direction, which is very possible, stick with Trey Lance, who they drafted higher, stick with Jimmy G.
Maybe go get Tom Brady. I've seen that rumor fly around. I don't know why personally.
I mean, Brock Purdy fucked him up earlier in the year.
I'm just saying though, you get Tom Brady on that team that obviously knows how to win games and play important games. It would help. But I don't know why. I'm just seeing that. I've just seen it just kind of threw me for a loop.
Either way, the point is, I think whether they get Tom Brady or stick with what they have, as long as Brock Purdy's in the system, he'll succeed. Now, if they move on and he's on the Seahawks,
Saints,
Saints.
Name any other team, maybe. Obviously, the question.
I don't think he's having the same success.
Right. And I think that's kind of true. And I think that's pretty much kind of the whole point of this story. Obviously, you know, the Seahawks came back, took the lead going into halftime, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, maybe Geno's going to fuck around and let these boys cook. And then the 49ers just came out in the second half and just, I feel like, physically dominated them, like completely took over and just basically played bully ball at that end point. But otherwise, pretty entertaining game up until halftime. And then once the fourth quarter started, kind of got out of hand.
Yeah.
Moving to our next game. This might be the, oh my God, what the fuck just happened game of the weekend.
Absolutely.
Of the weekend. Bills, Dolphins might second it. Ish.
No.
I'm just saying that's probably the next closest one.
That's true. But
in the sense of good, back and forth or going at it.
But
the Chargers, Jaguars, I have no idea what the fuck happened. I'm sitting at Emilio's after my game.
Sick invite.
Hey, it was after my. First of all, even if I didn't invite you, couldn't even have the space for you. They were packed.
Fair enough.
They were packed. Shout out to Emilio's. We want to get them sponsored.
Yeah, that'd be a good sponsor.
Great sponsor. We're sitting there watching. It's on the background. It's on TV. And I'm like, oh, yes. Trevor Lawrence threw an interception. Let's go. Because I'm rooting for the Chargers. I had Keenan Allen. I had Justin Herbert on my team all year for fantasy. Didn't do a whole lot for me. Justin Herbert was okay. Keenan Allen was injured most of the year, so fuck him. But either way, they were, I was kind of inadvertently rooting for them. And also, Jags are in my division. I'm kind of I want the AFC South to represent, but I'm also like, I don't like the Jags just because they ruined our playoff hopes last year, and also they skunked us this year, so I kind of had some disdain there.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for the Chargers, I would say, and I'm like, Trevor Lawrence threw an interception, dope. They score. Whatever. I'm like, awesome. Trevor Lawrence gets the ball back, throws another interception. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. And then they score like a field goal. Then they make them punt or some shit. Then they score a touchdown. And then the Chargers will win in 27-7 at halftime. I'm like, this game's fucking over. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
This is
You
dope.
guys that went to sleep.
Yes, I did. Took a nap and woke up to it. Yeah. Don't know if it's staged or not. I kind of hope it's not, just because that'd be awesome. But then this game, and it's so funny because we have a friend that we went to school with, Ryan and I. His name is Zach Celiak.
Okay. Does he have celiac disease?
He does not. I don't think so.
Okay. Just had to check.
He is a very large human, played football, very good at it. Okay. From Jacksonville. Only Jags fan I've ever met, like true Jags fan.
My uncle's a Jags fan.
Yeah, go your uncle. I've never met him though.
You have not, no.
Okay, cool.
He lives in
Sure.
Hilton Head, South Carolina. So
Okay, dope.
never met him.
He posted on his story in the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, about to watch the best comeback ever. And then every time they scored, he would post another video and zoom in. Like he had like 13 stories post. And I was like, you know what? I mostly get annoyed when people post a bunch of stories. But I was like, this is the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen. Because he actually called it, and it actually panned out for him. And he was celebrating like a mofo. So it was super cool to see. But Jags come back. Trevor Lawrence, first half, looks like he's never thrown the oblong ball. Second half, looks like he's the next coming of Joe Montana. Slanging it, 288 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pretty much just in the second half. I mean, the first half was a nightmare scenario for him. Doug Peterson and the boys knows how to get the Doug Peterson. Is it Peterson? Okay, cool. Doug Peterson knows how to get the boys rallied, knows how to keep them in check and get them motivated. Got them back on the field. Jags biggest comeback probably in playoff history, 27-7. I mean, that's 20.
I mean, they haven't been around long, so I would assume it is.
Yeah, it's got to be their biggest for sure.
Unless the year they went on the run to the AFC Championship game a few years ago, maybe that year they had one, but
that's definitely their biggest probably of their franchise.
I think so.
Game-winning field goal to end it. To me, you can't have a better walk-off scenario than that. But like I said, that was wild scenario from start to finish.
It's also the most electric I've probably seen that stadium. I felt like that was the first
Duval
time.
County?
That's the first time I've watched a Jacksonville Jaguars game in Jacksonville where it felt like they had a home field advantage.
Yeah.
And now it didn't, obviously early, it didn't pan out that way.
Ended that way, though.
It ended that way, though. And I felt like the fans actually really showed out. I mean, whenever we're talking about international expansion, we're always saying, oh, the Jags are going to move to London.
Yeah.
Maybe the Jags stay in Jacksonville.
Maybe the Jags stay in Jacksonville. Moving on. Probably our next closest game in theory of back and forth.
This is my third, but
This is your third favorite game to watch, or this is you thought was back and forth?
this is my third back and forth.
Okay. I'll give
Because
it.
the Bills were up most of the game.
Bills were up most of the game.
It just was a close
Dolphins ended up coming back though. I mean, cut the lead to 3 at halftime. And then, like you said, the Bills took it. I mean, Bills got skunked in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Dolphins looked good. Thought they were going to do it. Obviously, time wrong. If Tua is there, do they win? I don't know. Definitely a good game overall. I picked the Bills going into that game to win it. I wasn't real too confident in the third-string quarterback scenario that the Dolphins were rocking with there. But Dolphins made it interesting, and at the end of the day, I think that's all that they were kind of asking for, with maybe a chance of hoping to extend the season, maybe get Tua back then next week.
Mm-hmm.
But Dolphins-Bills, I mean, good game, division matchup. So you kind of seen this play out before. Bills had, obviously, DeMar Love supporting them in the back, pushing them from behind as a little extra motivation. Plus, you also got Bills Mafia, too. I mean, it's hard to do.
Yeah, anytime you see... I'm a huge fan of when divisional teams play in the playoffs. That's why I'm loving this NFC side of the picture where you have our NFC East, or our NFC Championship is guaranteed to have at least one NFC East team. If the Cowboys win, we're going to have 2.
Right.
So that's going to be real interesting. But there was 2 games this playoffs where if the team starting quarterback starts, I think they win. Yeah. And I do think that the Dolphins actually would have won if Tua was playing. The Bills did not have their best game today. Josh Allen kind of looked pedestrian at times, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's funny is, if you look at him statistically, great game.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, 350 passing yards, 23 of 39, which doesn't look that great. But it's he definitely filled the stat sheet up a bit. But if you watch the game, you were kind of sitting there I feel like Josh Allen isn't being what you when you think of Josh Allen, you don't think of what that game was. You're thinking of pure dominance, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns like he had, but slinging the ball. And I feel like if you look at that stat line, you'd be like, oh, they won by 2 or 3 touchdowns easily, but not by 3 points. I don't know. Just kind of, I agree with you. I think it was weird. It was just like a weird vibe.
It was a weird game for him, and maybe it's because they just knew they were going to win anyway since Tua wasn't playing, but it just felt like he was kind of off.
Yeah.
And I think I just think the Bills, they just kind of were playing with fire, and I think they got in too many 3rd and longs.
Yes.
And and I know that's their MO. They're the worst 3rd and short, but the best 3rd and long team. So maybe that's just their MO.
Yeah, I think the Bills also are a very big team of like. I kind of put the Bills as like that, that meme where the guy's sitting back playing video games and then he like leans forward. He's like, I gotta look around and play now. I feel like the Bills are kind of like that, and I kind of get that vibe too with the Chiefs as well, where they're kind of like, we're playing, we're having fun, we're gonna try and win this game, we're being competitive, and then like things get close and they're like, all right, fuck it, our best players are just gonna go, like just feed the ball to Stephon Diggs, feed the ball to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill when he was on the Chiefs. But it's, give it to Travis Kelce, give it to these boys. Like, I feel like that's kind of like the idea that they have. And I think that can come back and bite them in the ass sometimes. Because to me, I don't think this game should have been close and ended up being close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not Tyler Huntley.
We'll get to him.
Wrong game. But, who was the other guy? I honestly forget his name.
Oh, the 3rd stringer?
Yeah, for
Dolphins.
the Dolphins.
Shit.
Whoever it was.
Teddy Bridgewater's the backup.
Yeah, he's the backup. And I think if Teddy Bridgewater starts, I think the Dolphins might win this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely you really could make a case for that. Because I love Teddy Bridgewater.
I do too.
Teddy Bridgewater explains the thing. Thompson.
Yeah.
Skylar
Thompson.
Is it Skylar Thompson? Yeah, Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so bad. He went to Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a bad quarterback, and just the fact that he was starting in an NFL postseason game is kind of a travesty to the sport.
But he balled. I mean, he played well.
He played okay.
He put his team in a position to win.
He did.
That's all that matters. I mean, I'm not saying that he needs to, go stupid crazy. I mean, 18 to 45 is not good.
Yeah.
Not good at the thing.
I would consider that bad.
It's very bad. He had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Not good.
I would say that's very bad.
Very bad. And he had 220 yards. But you got to put it in the context of if you're looking for a 3rd string quarterback, you're asking him to put us in a chance to win the game. And he did that. Not the best way, but he put himself in position to help his team win, and that's what they did, right? I'm not saying that he needs to go out there and give, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception with 250 passing yards. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that his goal was to put his team in a position to win the game, and they asked him to do that. He went out there and he did it. They made it a 1-score game. Had the opportunity to, had the chance to potentially, maybe make a 2-minute drive there, or just come back in the game, and that's what they did. They lost by 3 points. I feel like not much more you can ask of a true 3rd string. I think the Brock Purdy's kind of watering that down, where you're like, oh, any 3rd string guy can do this, right? I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting for this whole scenario, and that's kind of what I'm seeing a lot of people take on that. They're like, Scott Thompson bad at the round oblong ball, which I'm not saying he's a starting quarterback. He would never start on any 32 teams unless it's a dire situation. Everybody's dead, right?
Yeah.
But you ask a 3rd string guy to go out there and win you a game against one of the Super Bowl favorites. I don't know. I feel like he did a pretty good job.
I mean, just looking at those, I feel like if any other quarterback was playing in that game, any other guy who started this postseason would have won.
Not any other guy starting. Any other guy 3rd string. It's got to be the 3rd string guy. Because you're not going to compare Lamar Jackson to this guy.
I think maybe Tyler Huntley might have.
He's the 2nd string quarterback. You could compare Tyler Huntley to Teddy Bridgewater.
No, he's 3rd, I think.
No, Tyler Huntley's 100%.
Sure?
Yes, 1,000%. You can compare.
Another guy?
To me, it'd be like comparing Nick Foles to Skylar Thompson. Because technically Nick Foles was like our 3rd string. Or Sam Ellinger, I guess, would be the better.
Cardale can come and fucking split.
Stop it. So I thought those first 3 games were electric. Very good games.
Now, this was my...
Other than like the 49ers one, I felt like that was kind of a snooze fest.
Now, this was what I thought was some second most back and forth.
Before we get to it, let's talk about our first sponsor. Let's talk about our friends at Pita Abilities.
Pita Abilities.
Pita Abilities. They slang a great pita with all the meats. You can get gyro, chicken, falafel, vegan choice, of course. You can get a veggie pita, and you can get the traditional gyro meat on top of it. You get it up with all the fixins. I'm talking banana peppers, black olives, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, pickle spear, whatever you can think, they got it. They can put it on it with their homemade Bella sauce. It is to die for. John, I know you're a huge fan of the Bella sauce.
I'm a huge fan of the Bella sauce, but more importantly, I'm a huge buffalo chicken guy.
I mean, the buffalo chicken goes crazy.
You got the buffalo chicken, you got a little bit of that blue cheese dribble on it. It just mixes so well together.
It does.
And Peatability just does it right. They got
It's fresh.
It's fresh.
Never frozen.
Never frozen.
I'm not stepping on any other one's toes here. Okay, never frozen.
Yeah, we're not going over any other taglines here.
Is that Wendy's?
I believe that's
Wendy's. Okay, yeah.
Um,
Regardless, though.
But yeah, they got all the food trucks. You can look up where they are for the day.
Mm-hmm.
They got the brick and mortar store out in
Old Hillary, Ohio. Kirky Camp facility. So make sure you check them out. We love them. They love us. Thank you guys for sponsoring this segment.
Absolutely.
Now, John's favorite game. John, why don't you go ahead and lead me into it? Paint me a picture.
So we're going up north.
We're going north.
We're going up to the Twin Cities.
I believe we're going to
Skull. So you're going up to the Twin Cities.
100%.
We're going
Skull,
up there.
We're skulling. We're skulling.
And we're going with the New York Football Giants against the Minnesota Vikings. I thought this was a really good back and forth game. I thought these two teams were pretty evenly matched here.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon went off. The Vikings were answering the entire game. And I felt like this was a good win for Brian Dable. I always forget how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Dable.
You know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about. We know who we're talking
Big chubby guy.
That's a football guy.
He's a football.
That's a football. Him, Andy Reid, two football guy coaches.
And the dude for the Lions.
Dan Campbell.
Campbell.
He's a football guy.
But Brian Dable reminds me of Freddie Kitchens a lot, at least in terms of appearance.
But good coach.
Yeah, because I wanted Freddie Kitchens to be really good. So I'm like kind of subconsciously rooting for Brian Dable.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of happy to see the Giants pull out here. I picked them. I believe you and I both picked them.
We did.
Because
we're good pickers.
Because we're good pickers. And the Vikings, I felt like were kind of fraudulent this year.
I don't think they were fraudulent. I think they were a good team. I don't think they were winning the Super Bowl. I just think they kind of ran into a tough matchup because I think if they play potentially the Seahawks, I think the Vikings win that game.
I don't know.
I think if they play, you don't think they win?
I don't
Bucks.
know. I think the Niners might be that good.
If they play the Bucks, do you think they play?
Okay,
the Bucks?
I think the Bucks is about the only team in this playoffs they could have beat.
Okay. I don't hate that
I'll
either.
give you the Bucks.
I think that the Giants are just a very good team. They can slow the game down, run the ball, play smash mouth, and also they got a solid team around them.
Yeah. I don't think them losing this game to the Giants, because I think the Giants are a decent team.
Yeah.
I just think the Vikings were frauds the entire year. They were, for most of the season, I believe they still ended this way. They're negative in point differential, despite them being like 11 and
they were 13-4.
13-4, and they were like 11-2 at the time with a negative point differential.
Awesome.
Like it was just kind of embarrassing. And
yeah, they had like
the
9.
NFC
They had
North,
like 9 or 10 like 1-point wins or something crazy.
and
like
the
that.
NFC North was so down this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of thought the Vikings were frauds here. Now I playing in the I think it's US Bank Stadium.
Yeah,
where they play whatever the Viking ship looking thing is called. I thought they would have good home field advantage there, but Giants came out on top. Saquon went off, and I was wrong about Daniel Jones. He's like actually not bad.
Yeah, no, he's slinging thing. It's almost like when you have a confident coach, it's just crazy. I mean, that's the big thing I've always said is it's kind of crazy when you sit there and shit talk all these quarterbacks, players, and it just, to me, it can come down so much to the right system, scheme, and who you got leading the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember who their head coach was last year.
I don't remember either, but he was bad.
He was bad. I mean, he did QB sneak 3rd and 9 on their, 15. Awful. You have a competent coach that's not afraid to sling the ball around. Daniel Jones looks like he knows what he's doing. He might be one of the better quarterbacks left in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Top 4, maybe.
Yeah.
The way he's playing. The way he's played, the last couple games. And, they're a product of a very good division. 3 NFC East teams made the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have, the 4th one almost made it. They were in the hunt there for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the Giants are definitely a solid football team. So I don't think that's necessarily a knock against the Vikings, but I think the Giants led the literal entire game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they ever gave up the lead once they took it in the first quarter. But I thought it was a good game. I thought this was definitely going to be the best game of the, going into it. I thought this was for sure going to be the best game going into playoffs. in sense of entertainment value. I didn't think the Chargers one was going to end up being as entertaining as it was.
Yeah.
Before the game, during the game, and obviously after the game, I was wrong. But when that game was going to do the coin flip, I was like, oh, this game is probably going to be a snooze fest. But, yeah, Giants, Vikings, very good game. Now, Sunday night cap.
Yeah.
Another division rival.
Yeah.
Ravens, Bengals. They just played each other to end this regular season. Ended up being a close game, end of the regular season. And this one ended up being a close game.
Yeah.
Without what now I am seeing it referred to by Bengals faithful, the immaculate, what was it? The immaculate deflection, or
I don't know what you're referring to.
you know the immaculate reception.
Yeah.
So when Sam or whoever hit the fumble on Tyler Huntley on the one and Sam returned it, they're calling it like the immaculate return or deflection or something stupid like that.
I'm still stuck on the part where you said the faithful Bengals fan.
I know you've never met one, but I've seen a few on the Twitter sphere. They exist, damn it.
I'll take your word for it, but I haven't been seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I follow quite a few Bengals fans, so it's I see probably a little bit more than you do.
Okay.
But it was definitely a very interesting game. I personally hate Joe Burrow now.
Ooh.
I don't know if I hate Joe Burrow or if I hate Zach Taylor. Because whoever called the QB sneak on the 1 yard line instead of handing off to Joe Mixon cost me $500, $900.
It cost me some money too.
So
$300.
Cost me $900. So Joe, Zach, whoever want to figure that out, I fucking hate.
Yeah, fuck you.
Or you can Venmo me, either one.
Or
I'm
Venmo
cool.
me, yeah.
You can Venmo for one or the other. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but this was the second game I was referring to. I think the Ravens easily win this game if Lamar Jackson played. I mean, they should have won the game without Lamar Jackson.
Right.
I mean, my bets had the Bengals winning, so I was rooting for the Bengals, unfortunately. But, I mean, the Ravens were the better team. They're the better team all year. They're the better team on paper. I mean,
Lamar Jackson, I think, had the same amount of passing touchdowns this year as Daddy Joey B did, and Lamar has significantly less offensive weapons, in my opinion.
He does, yeah.
And also was injured.
Yeah.
So, for like 2 or 3 games there, 4 games, and you have the same amount of passing touchdowns, I think it's kind of crazy.
And
he's a very good player.
And the Ravens have been the better team for the last 2 years. People are just kind of stuck on the fact that the Bengals made the Super Bowl last year. But
let's not get it twisted. The Bengals are a good team. Ravens are just better.
But the Ravens are a better team. The Ravens should have won the division last year. They just got entirely hurt on defense. Now they got hurt on offense. They should be about 4 times straight NFC North winners, but that's not how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But
that's the way it goes.
The Ravens are a better team in my opinion.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. I think the Bengals are good at the oblong ball. Don't get it twisted. I think the Ravens have a more complete team. Eli Apple still shows that he's not a very good corner. Gets burnt pretty frequently. I just think the Ravens defense was really complete, really good this year, where they like you said, let him down last year. Unfortunately, flip the switch. You don't have your best player on the field, arguably, in Lamar Jackson, and then you lose Hollywood Brown in the offseason and don't really replace him with anything. So, AFC matchup was a good one, nonetheless. Moving to our last game, Monday night recap.
Not a good one.
Kind of actually a lame one. This one will probably be pretty big. Cowboys versus Bucks. Tom Brady looked not good at the oblong ball. Slang it 66 times, which is crazy. 35 of 66, which is not very good. 350 passing yards, 2 TDs, which you're thinking to me, if you're going to throw it 66 times, you have to have more completions. You have to have more passing yards. You have to be touchdowns. I feel like when you see anything above, I think anytime you see between the 45 to 50 passing attempts, you're seeing like 400 plus passing yards.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 touchdowns, maybe even 5. They were playing from behind from the get-go. They were losing 18-0 at halftime, getting skunked. Shout out the kicker for the Cowboys, Brett Maher.
I didn't catch his name, but that was embarrassing.
Cowboys, if you're looking for a kicker, I know a guy. I can kick. I think I can make extra points. I think I can hit 1 of 4.
I can attest.
I think I can hit at least, of the first 4 ones attempted, I think I can hit at least 1 of them.
Okay.
Give me a couple tries there. I'll figure it out. But at that point, somebody needed to go check that dude's FanDuel account.
Yeah.
That looked really suspicious. That's all I'm saying. Especially because he only missed 3 all year. He missed 4 in one game. Kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
And maybe you just have the nerves. Maybe you have the yips. And that happens. I get it. But kind of crazy. But Cowboys got out in front, led, didn't even give it up.
Do you believe the whole thing where I can't remember who said it, whose podcast it was on. It was a player.
Mm-hmm.
Said that kickers literally don't come to practice. They might come to practice and
No, that's not true.
kick balls.
I don't think that's true.
That's been a popular thing a bunch of players have been saying. That's not just like coming from one
No,
guy.
I'm saying, like, do you believe that's true? That a lot of NFL kickers,
I believe they're on their own regimen.
I think they're on their own schedule, just like special teams, just like I think defense and offense is on their thing. And then they do like team shit, I would say, at some point. But no, I mean, Pat always talks on the podcast when he was with Adam Vinatieri and stuff. They were at practice every single day.
And Pat McAfee are way different breeds than what we
I don't disagree with that, but I would say I think I would be surprised if Justin Tucker doesn't go to every practice. Now, to me, it's hey, we're doing offensive walkthrough today. That's it. I don't necessarily think that the kicker has to go to that. I'm sure the kickers probably go and do like
right. Obviously, you don't
lift.
Want
They probably go lift, and you don't want them to kick 46 kicks a game. I think that's the case. But no, I wouldn't say they go to every practice. No, but I wouldn't say they would go. They only go to like one practice. I would find that very hard to believe. That's just me. I don't think we know. I'm sure we can ask a kicker.
I know a punter.
I know punter. Yeah,
I know a punter in the NFL. I don't. That's about it.
Yeah, and you could ask him.
Yeah,
he's probably with special teams.
Yeah. Oh no, he's the holder.
Yeah,
so he would know.
He would definitely know. Well, he's probably busy right now.
He's currently moving back to Columbus. I don't know, because they were like saying after the game that they're driving up from Houston to Columbus because he's moving back for the off season. So
respect that. But still, we could ask him. That'd be cool. Hey, fuck it, get him on the pod.
I don't know him that well,
but we could ask.
We could, I guess.
We could ask. Yeah, pretty much snooze fest there. Do we think this is Brady's last game with the Bucs?
I think it might be.
I think it has to be.
I mean, he's looked.
This team's not built to win anymore.
It's not built to win, and he's looked bad too. Yeah. And it's just not good. I feel like the coaching situation was off. They were better with Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
And when they were down, what was it, 18-0 at half? I was like, oh, here we go. This is typical Tom Brady.
I put money on Bucs money line.
And I if I was thinking to do it, I probably would have too. But it was just kind of typical. Then the Cowboys just kind of just destroyed him after that. So
yeah, I think personally the way I would look at it is this team's A, not built to win, and B, I don't know if it's because Tom Brady doesn't have enough weapons because he still has Mike Evans and he has Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Now, did they both play this entire year? No. Injuries obviously coming in and out of there. Leonard Fournette was significantly worse than he was last year.
Yeah.
Ask Ryan. He knows all about it. Yeah. Big fantasy guy. But I just feel like, to me, personally, the Bucs are not looking to... I mean, they were under 500 team that made the playoff. That division's awful. They were 8-9. And that division was awful. They barely won their division.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you had another competent team, literally you could probably take any team, any second-place team from any other division and put it in this division, and they probably win it.
Yeah. I think you can even argue the Browns would have won that division.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's quite a few third-place teams in a couple divisions that would definitely win.
I mean, we were a fourth-place team.
Regardless.
Yeah.
I'm still going on third and fourth place.
Yeah.
But I think they're that bad. So I think personally Tom Brady's got to leave. Like I said, I keep seeing the 49ers rumors. I'm not sure about that. I think a decent place would be the Colts, honestly. If we want to continue, well, fuck it. When you always go from one old quarterback to another, might as well just get Tom Brady if I can come in here.
Dog, stick with Sam Ellinger. He's the future.
Stop it.
He's the future.
Knock it off. But yeah, that's pretty much how we wrap up there on the Super Wildcard Weekend. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. But yeah, that wraps up this segment for the Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll be looking forward to next week when we wrap up the divisional round, and then that'll get to our Super Bowl picks and all that stuff. But we'll have the pick'ems later. Don't you worry about it. We'll have some NFL picks.
Don't you worry. Check out the pick'em.
Check it out. Check out the pick'em video and this next part of the segment. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
Peace.
Peace.